So now moving on to some examples. We'll do two different examples, one a simply supported beam and two a more complex beam. First, we're just going to take just about the simplest possible beam you can imagine. There's only tension reinforcement, simply supported, 3.5 meter total span. We're going to have a imposed load and a permanent load on it, equal to 1.5 and 0.9 kilopascals respectively. We'll assume this beam is in an office building. That's affecting the character of the imposed load. We're going to assume no transverse shear reinforcement, a load width of a simple flat 1 meter, and concrete strength of 32 megapascals. Now, we're going to show how the methodology and formulas work using our new reinforced concrete calculator in ClearCalcs. So I'll load up my web browser. And just go over to clearcalcs.com. And I'm going to create a new project, just call it webinar for now, and add in a rectangular concrete beam on here. So at the top here, we're making similar assumptions to what I described in our webinar already. No torsion, no pre-stressing, and I'm going to assume that basically you're going to be checking all the detailing on your own. That's not checked in this sheet. So for the simplified beam, our total dimensions were 300 depth, 130 millimeter total breadth, 32 megapascal concrete, 3.5 meter length. And we said we only have tension reinforcement consisting of 3 and 12 longitudinal beams. So no top reinforcement, no transverse reinforcement, a 1 meter load width with 0.9 and 1.5 kilopascal dead and live load respectively. We'll keep self-weight in there. Character of imposed load, we said this was an office building. And usually you'd be considering wind and some other loads as well. I'm going to be removing those from this just to simplify everything. Again, we'll address complex loading later on in another webinar some other time. And then we end up with a final result. 75% of our total capacity calculated. Our controlling factor is long-term deflection. And you can see how demands and capacities relate to each other in a summary box at the top here. Now this sheet is going to follow through the full procedure we just described. So flexural strength calculated at the midspan, it's going to calculate your uncracked neutral axis location and depth to neutral axis with KU. You'll notice similar formulas as we went through in the webinar earlier. This is as typical an under reinforced beam. Shear analysis. I mentioned that that VU max is not usually going to govern for you. Here it's calculated as 259 kilonewtons, whereas our capacity of the concrete is 26 kilonewtons. So we're very far off from that web crushing limit actually occurring. That's typically going to be the case for you. And deflection analysis, calculating the effective second moment of area. And we have just our quick stability checks at the end as well. So we see that moment is pretty far from governing. Shear is at 42%. If we had roughly double that shear, we may want to consider starting to add some fitments. But in the end, it's going to be the long-term deflection that's governing here. So then going to our second example, that's going to be a more complex beam. We're going to assume that the first beam we calculated is resting on top of our more complex beam at a location of 7 meters. We're going to have a total 10-meter span length, or excuse me, total 10-meter beam length with spans of 3.5 meters, 4.5 meters, and then a cantilever on the end of 2 meters. We'll have two different sets of reinforcement that differ between positive moment and negative moment, and 12 bars on the top and 10 bars at the bottom. In positive moment regions, we'll have 3 N10s at the bottom and just 2 N12s at the top. Negative moment regions will have 3 N12s at the top and 2 N10s at the bottom. This time we'll assume it's a retail building. We'll put in some basic R6 shear fitments at 200 millimeter spacing, increase our load width a little bit to 1.5 meters, and we'll again use a 32 megapascal total concrete strength. So going back into our calculator, duplicate that so that we don't need to re-enter in our section shapes, which are the same depth of 300 millimeters and 130 millimeters. This time our total beam length is 10 meters. So we'll put in that. Supports at 3,500 millimeters and 8,000 millimeters for our 3.5 and 4.5 meter spacing. You can see those shown graphically in the lower right here. Said we were going to have N10s on the bottom and N12s on the top. This time we are including top reinforcements in positive moment regions in the mid-spans here. But we have three longitudinal reinforcement beams on the top and 2 on the bottom. Shear fitments, we are going to include those. R6s at 200 millimeters. These are going to be typical standard fitments that have 2 legs, just your standard closed rectangular fitment, and 90 degrees for a perpendicular fitment. And then this time we do have differing reinforcement in negative moment regions. So this is going to copy from what we had already entered up above, but we're going to modify it a little bit for our negative moment regions to instead have 3 top reinforcements and 2 bottom reinforcements. Same loading, except we're going to increase the load width to 1,500 millimeters. And we're also going to link in the previous beam that we calculated and all the reactions due to that and put that in at 7 meters. We then have a retail character imposed load instead of an office character imposed load, and including self-weight as normal. Now you notice at the top here that we did have a failure due to our stability checks. Scroll down here. Our default assumption for stability checks is incorrect for a multi-span beam. So we just need to enter in that it's 4,500 millimeters, the maximum length of our span, and that works just fine. We no longer have a failure there. We can see again here that we're making a bit more productive use of our flexural capacity. Still a lot of space there, but we're using about 1/3 of our flexural capacity in both cases. Deflection is what's going to be controlling for us. We have a yellow shown here for being above 90%, but that still works. And making a bit more use of our shear capacity here at 54%.